Rafael Santana.
Hey, Alfredo.
Hey, how are you, man?
Good. How are you?
Good. Hey, GMB pros, welcome everybody. Those that are here live, it's a California SEO meetup, as we were just talking about it. We're all Central California actually, so that's awesome. So rank and rent, why it still works, why it's beneficial. I think this is an ideal group here that is thriving in the rank and rent industry. And there's some benefits here that we can take, and I want to share with you live in person what's working, what's not, what's changed, what we're all doing. So thank you, everybody. Those that are catching the replay, I hope you catch some value. And this is like in the trenches, which I love, right? That we're all doing this even today. And one of the things that I kind of want to cover is rank and rent, right? All of us in here work with rank and rent up to a certain point, some of us more than others, right? And one of the things that I want to focus, I just did a topic on niching down, why it's important. And that topic still, I think, plays to the rank and rent business, not just doing any niche or whatnot, picking a topic that still speaks on you. For example, water damage. King here, as she labels herself, which we were just speaking of, she does very well. Those of you that are in the rank and rent and have water damage, leads, speak to Christine or King, how she labeled her she's doing very well. Very well. We can help people, we can help the businesses, and at the same time, you can help make a good amount of revenue, right? If you ever wanted to dabble in like some partnerships, if you ever wanted to dabble, especially in the water damage, Christine is the perfect one to partner up and speak to. Now, why do I say this and combine? Because niching down still applies in the rank and rent, right? Just because you're doing rank and rent doesn't mean we come off of like what we do for marketing. Rafael and I just got off a call with one of our like coaches that spoke about niching down. And I think it still applies because it becomes easier for the advertisement. It becomes easier for the SEO, the GMB. All of that becomes a lot easier with the ads as well, right? You can just duplicate it. Okay. If you're in the limousine industry, right? There's nobody better than Harry. He can tell you, he can speak the language, he can talk the lingo, he knows, the prices, he knows how to keep his people happy and his clients happy in that niche, right? So it's super valuable, and he leveraged. You can also leverage the rank and rent model to build your own business. And I think that's a little bit on Harry, how he took it and leverage it for himself, for his own business. And then we have Rafael, right? Rafael, if you guys are ever wondering if you can have some type of success or some income in the cleaning niche and maids and house cleaning and Rafael has had some success. He had some clients, especially in the rank and rent niche, and has been very successful. But just because you get into the rank and rent model, leverage that to do what you want to do. Leverage it to get into other things, whether it be like in your own agency, right? Instead of being a generalist, niche down to that particular niche of businesses that you can help, right? Leverage it for, other things that you want to do, but the rank and rent model still works. Harry, can you speak on your experience a little bit? What as far as the rank and rent, how you leverage it, how it helped you, even your story a little bit, how you helped it for your own business.
Well, Alfredo, as you know, I started long time ago. And when I started, people were making a website and selling for $5,000, 6,000, 3, 4 pages websites. And SEO was so easy, was keyword stacking everywhere and ranking on a number 1 or 2. You could make that 10, 15 websites, put all the keywords there and dominate whole first page of the Google. Okay, and then I started my limo service back then, 1995, and then decided to go ahead and get my own websites and start creating a leads for my business, since we were paying 10, 15 grand to a Yellow Pages back then. And this is how I starting creating a website, rank it, start getting a phone calls, and then one website became a two is three, three and four, and now I have over 60, 70 limo category websites. This is how it happened.
So this is like beautiful thing. Notice Henry mentioned nothing about GMB, right? He is heavy on websites. Now he's getting the GMBs, but
since I am
ahead.
in this business, I'm in this category. Now I'm working really hard for a national basis, getting all limo service websites all over in United States. Only limo service, nothing else. I'm not going after construction services or any other niche. Only limo services. And I'm going to try, to get the leads for other limo companies around US.
That and beautiful, right? So you see how, guys, leveraging certain things to get, other things as well. And same thing with me. I have some junk removal sites in Kansas City and in California with 0 GMBs that I get leads for. A swimming pool. I have one swimming pool, just the website. No, I take that. Well, I have the website and the GMB on that one, but that's a soft suspend GMB that still gets leads to this day, right? So that, leveraging that a little bit. Now, Christine, can you kind of take us through your journey and how you leverage it? And guys, you never know. I love Christine's story, and if she wouldn't mind sharing here in a minute, because mind you, she started, and I'll let her tell the story, but how it led up to where she's at now, and the relationship and the network that she's built. I would love for you to kind of include that in there if you can, Christine.
Like I kind of started out more with an agency and had, just a variety of different clients, all in the home services, like renovation, kitchen, bathroom, remodel, like architects, but what's really appealing, right, about rank and rent is you're not a slave to anyone. So that's always appealing, is that you kind of just, you're able to supply, for the demand. And so that's really appealing. In terms of like how I've done it, like you said, niching down is really important, and also being very specific on what you want to focus on. Focus is really important. And in the beginning, it was kind of like, well, any website, any GMB, whether it be foundation repair or auto glass or water damage, whatever it was, you're kind of like, oh, it's great, but you've got to manage those. You've got to nurture them, optimize them. They need a lot of work. So I think, like focusing and honing down on specific, like just one niche, right? Get to know it. You've got to do research. I'm on YouTube because I kind of like transitioned organically into water damage. And I have no idea about that industry. So, you've got to kind of dive into it. And the more you understand it, the more you're able to bring value to your buyers. And it's just like a different game than having an agency with the rank and rent. So that's great. But I will say that once you prove your value through rank and rent, once you develop that relationship, and I mean, it happens after your first lead. After that, they're all ears. You could sell them SEO, you can sell them, and you can, if you choose to, you could optimize their assets and websites and their Google business profiles, and they're kind of like just lead the way, right? So you set a price. So I think the dual is probably a safe route to go, because the rank and rent opens the door.
Yes.
And then they're kind of, after that, the conversation's completely different. In the beginning, it's like, you got to show some proof, some tangible evidence of what, you can provide, and the value and the revenue. And then after that, I mean, sky's the limit, right? Depending on the company and what their annual revenue is and all of that. And then it's just tweaking it. But building that trust and relationship is also key, and probably outside of anything technical and all of that. So there's a lot of elements, but they kind of naturally unfold. So that's kind of the good thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
The only monkey wrench is always Google. You're always just like, really? You're like, oh, thanks. Google again, updates, and, it's always, they throw a monkey wrench into things. But aside from that, yeah, it's not only lucrative. I think it's just, there's so much benefit and value on both ends. So that's been my
100%.
experience.
Awesome. And guys, she's being humble, through, like she said, it was an organic transition to water damage that she's had. And she's developed a big, nice relationship with somebody that is been a huge blessing, I think, in Christine's life, in her business. And that's why I can say, guys, if you have leads that you want to sell at a higher point, this is your girl, and she's going to be able to expose you to more than just the rank and rent, what partnerships look like, what profit sharing looks like. Christine is your girl. She's being very humble, very humble.
And how long it's been, Christine, you doing this?
I think officially, we probably went live with the first water damage GMB the end of July. So it's been about a half a year. I think within 2 to 5 weeks, the GMBs, they started to kind of creep up. And, once they were in the map pack, they were pretty stable there, even with all the updates and reviews dropping and all of that. So, it's a pretty easy and clear road. You got to follow certain rules and not you don't want to poke the dragon, when it comes to Google. You can't fiddle around with things too much. You do what you need to do, and then you got to be patient. But yeah, it was like a very fast growth in terms of that, and I like that, success like speed. You just got to keep working really hard. and build things.
Congratulations. I love it. Love it. And guys, so yeah, if you have any water damage, Christine is your go-to girl. Get in contact with her.
I will tell you, anybody in the country. I mean, I am to the point now where I went through a lot of trial and error in terms of finding the right buyers. That is a whole nother aspect of all of this, right? You can rank, but then you don't know what to do with those leads, right? And they're dropping on the ground. And that happened in the beginning. And I was just like, oh my gosh, okay. Like, what do we, scrambling and, but, once you get like one good buyer, then after that, I don't know, things just click. It's understanding and it's all really just understanding more of who these business owners are, what they're looking for, what they want to hear. And, and that just takes some time. And so now I like my buyers are like, hey, my brother has a water damage company down near Chula Vista, and I don't have a buyer down there. It's just like they're all tugging and begging, and then it just parlays. So at any time I could say, hey, let's schedule a Zoom. They already see the proof in the pudding. So it's just really at this point about, well, how much is it going to be? Because I mean, they've asked me like, well, how are you doing this? How are you getting, because they're not getting these leads and they're not as quality and qualified. And so at that point, you can sell them on any other services.
Absolutely.
I just, I take the less pushy approach though. I like them. I don't chase anymore. I used to chase.
Yeah, 100%. Josh calls it, they're preconditioned to buy, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
And
Congratulations.
the less you push, the more they want. It's funny, and they're like, how? And I'm just like, and a part of me is a little hesitant anyway to put them in the driver's seat, right? It's nice to have that control with the rank and rent, because once you build them, then it depends on the level of the company. But once you build them, then they're kind of good to go on their own, so it takes evaluating and knowing the company and, okay, do I lose them as a client if you build up their websites and their I mean, if they're that good of a buyer and the revenue and whether it's a profit share or whatever, like you might not want to give them that kind of power.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, congratulations, guys. So you see how there's two levers. Somebody that started in the agency and kind of dabbled, like she said, the dual approach, right? And then through the building of relationship and the I call it the path of least resistance, right? And then the network that she created, it just took off for her. So congratulations again. Super excited to see the success. Now, Rafael kind of, did the same thing. He had the generalist, he had playing with rank and rent. I believe he started with rank and rent. If Rafael, if I can get you to come on, I don't know if you stepped away from the computer, but to tell kind of your story a little bit and then like where you are at today. I know he's making some changes. I know he's making some changes, but he's had some success. He might have stepped away. If we catch him here, I'll have him introduce, kind of take you through his journey of the rank and rent. He then went to agency, and now I know he's kind of shifting into kind of niching down his agency and still leveraging the rank and rent model to help. Let's see. to help him, with what he's trying to do. Hey, Rafael, you there?
Yeah, yeah.
How are you, man?
Good, man. How are you?
Good, good, good. Hey, Rafael, if you can kind of take us to your story, like with Rank and Rent, how you started, where you're at, the success that you have seen, and like kind of what you're doing now.
So I started 2019, I think. Yeah. So I started really with the two main niches. It was house cleaning and junk removal. And I have a few of those, and I like it because I can talk to them kind of like a little different than like, for example, the niche that I want to go with now, it's window replacement companies. But yeah, so I started, and then I really like the rank and rent models, but right now we're transitioning a little bit to do a little more SEO, because I figured out that a lot of clients don't understand the part of renting the property. They're like, but I want you to do on mine. So while I'm renting them a property, I'm doing them SEO for them as well. So in the end, it's more lines, right? It's just like playing Monopoly. More little things you have over there on the board, more chances you have somebody to land on your place.
Awesome. So you started in the rank and rent a little bit, right?
Yeah, my for a long time it was all rank and rent.
Nice.
I didn't have any SEO clients.
And then you transitioned to kind of like a generalist marketing agency.
Yes. And then
Okay.
I started doing some PPC with the Google ads, and I tried a little bit of Facebook ads too, but it was not my cup of tea. So I kept just with Google, and I think I like it better.
Awesome. So you see, guys, and then like Rafael, he's taking what he gets from his rank and rent to kind of fund other projects. I know Rafael like really thinks out of the box. For example, for backlinking, linking circles, building his own properties to control the backlinks, to make sure that they stay in the right niche, in the right category. So that's another area I know Rafael has really leveraged as well in his journey. So guys, I just wanted to share why and different, and it was an organic call today, all people from California. I'm very familiar with a lot of the people that are on here. We're friends, we talk daily, we share information. So it was perfect, like beautiful, and I hit record, and I just wanted to share the different perspectives on if you own your own business, how you can leverage it. If you started in an agency, how you can leverage the rank and rent. If you started in rank and rent, how you can leverage it back into if you started in rank, how you can leverage it for your agency and produce other things and other relationships. And you never know where this can take you, what doors that it can open up for you. For me, it was the same way. I did the SEO agency, then I transitioned to the rank and rent a little bit, and that helps fund certain projects and case studies. And really, for me, it helps me to test what I know from the GMB and SEO. It helped me, I can test it on myself, right? And then see what works and what doesn't work, and without hurting the clients and whatnot. So that's how I kind of leverage it.
You know what? You're absolutely right, Alfredo, because it's all about like networking and like the community. Because if I didn't have, like, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Harry. Harry has turned me on to so many really valuable, like, experts in the business, and that just leads to another and another, and you need that community, and we need each other to help support one another, because it's abundant. There's like so much money and work out there, like, we're not competing against each other.
Can I ask you
it's
a question,
ample.
Mrs. King?
Of course.
Can you open up your own water damage company?
Could I open up my own?
Yep.
Yeah, you know what? We can do anything. That's what life is. You know, you put it out there. Yeah, I mean, you know, it wouldn't be far-fetched
Why
to
not?
kind of,
You can make your
yeah.
book. You can
Oh,
have a
yeah.
lead.
Oh,
So
yeah.
why not to open up your own water damage company
Yeah.
and start keeping those leads for yourself?
Yeah. Hire project managers
Of
and
course, of
field
course.
supervisors and get the equipment. And trust me, there have been times where, you know, had leads dropping on the ground, and I was like, I will be at Home Depot backing up my Land Rover and getting dehumidifiers and fans, and
You know, anybody
so
can open up
whatever it
business.
takes.
Yeah, anybody can open up business,
Yeah,
but if they don't have a leads, they don't have a business, that business equal to zero. But since you have
exactly.
a lot of leads and you're doing the bookings yourself, you know what? It's time to open up your own company. Water damage
You know
company.
what, Harry, if I had a backer like the Southern California limo mafia, Harry, like if I had that, and then Alfredo, like I like joint ventures because I think it's always that synergy and collaboration of more than one that really is able to kind of drive any of those goals. And anything's
Absolutely.
possible for sure. But you know, I'm not one of those people that I'm like, I know it all and I can do it all. You can't. You just can't. So if you're smart about it, it's just having the right resources. That's kind of like the skill, right? Is knowing where the resources are
Yep.
and keeping them, you know, on your belt and when you need to call on them. But certainly, yeah, profit margin is huge in some of these niches. And, you know, when you realize that, you know, if they're able to actually easily say, yeah, I'll give you 15% rev share on like every job, you know, the profit margin is probably 67%. You know, that's pocket money. So, yeah, when it comes to generating revenue, I'm always open to ideas. I love that. It's always like, think outside the box and collaborate with good people, you know, everybody that has, and knowing who bring, you know, everyone needs to bring something to the table, and you never know what you're going to get. That's what's nice about it. Sometimes, you
Absolutely.
know, whatever your vision is, your outcome is greater. You just never know. You've got to just try. And so I think, yeah, groups like this, it's essential. And so
Yeah.
we
And
appreciate you hosting these things for sure, Alfredo. You know, it
thank you.
keeps you
I
motivated,
appreciate that.
right?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. I appreciate that. And you know, that's some of my winning formula, the 11 steps, 12 steps that I have is
Mhm.
that part of staying connected. Absolutely. And then me
Yeah.
operating in my gift to elevate those around me, to facilitate that, you know, and like today it just happens to be Rank and Ran and you know, the people that are on here. I think that those that watch the replay will really kind of like aha moments. That's another one of my goals. Like, man, I didn't think about that. Or like, look at it from a different angle to help elevate you or yourself. And guys, please, Chris is the perfect example of that. You never know what's going to develop outside of that, what network, what friendships, what partnerships that, you know, it'll change your life. You know, you're one joint venture from a 7-figure agency, you know. Like look at me and William, you know, the partnerships that we took and the doors that he's opened for me, right? And just having that right spirit, that right, you know, operating your gift of what you're great at and to be able to leverage that, one, to help others, to help your business, to help grow and put out there, to be huge. We were talking a little bit of, being a little spiritual. And I think with this season, with Christmas and whatnot, it truly, you can be whatever you want if you help enough people and you have that vibe of giving and operating on whatever your gift is. We all have different gifts, operating that in that path of least resistance to help everybody elevate. And, I appreciate your words and your kind words, and I appreciate everybody that participated today. With that said, guys, we're coming up to the 40-minute mark. I think we're going to call it. And guys, those that are catching the replay, I appreciate everyone. Hopefully you found some value in here, but apply it, look at it, take a different angle, kind of pick up what we're putting down as far as the thought process. I think this fits in any model, niche down, leverage it to, what you want to do to help others. So with that said, guys, much love, much success, and I'll see you on the next one.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Alfredo. Thank you so much.